What if I told you that there were 5 types of people that will never be rich? Would you want to know if you were one of these types of people? In this video, I will share with you the 5 types of people that will never be rich. And if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button below for more life-changing content. For most people, becoming rich is their ultimate dream, as having a significant amount of wealth opens up numerous opportunities in life. If you're rich, you can drive whatever car you want, travel to any part of the world, and you never have to take orders from a boss again. However, becoming rich isn't easy, which is why just a small number of people ever accumulate enough money to live this dream lifestyle. In fact, to become rich, certain things are expected of us. Certain lifestyle and daily habits, a certain mindset, and certain associations as well. People who never become rich fail in their pursuit for financial freedom because they do not understand the principles that underlie the accumulation of money. Hence, they constantly find themselves doing the wrong things over and over. Remember, our habits form and dictate the outcome of our lives. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Your net worth to the world is usually determined by what remains after your bad habits are subtracted from your good ones." This means that if you become rich, it is because of the things you do consistently. If you are unsuccessful, likewise, it is because of something or some things that you do repeatedly as well. Mortimer J. Adler, an American philosopher, educator, and popular author, said that habits are formed by the repetition of particular acts. They are strengthened by an increase in the number of repeated acts. Habits are also weakened or broken, and contrary habits are formed by the repetition of contrary acts. Talking about people who will never be rich, what habits do they constantly repeat, or how do we identify people who will never be successful in life? Now, let me share with you the 5 types of people who will never be rich. Type number 1, people who are scared of failure. Failure is an outcome, not an end product. People who do not realize this fact will always be scared of failure. Hence, they'll never break out of their comfort zones to try new things. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." Poor people see failure as an excuse not to try new experiences, even if they think that this experience may lead to a life of financial bliss. They will say that it's too risky, that no one's ever done it before, or that they aren't sure if they have the skills to succeed. But in reality, they are just scared of how they will feel if they fail. But if you look at the people who have amassed unimaginable wealth, you will notice a trend. A lot of the world's richest people laughed in the face of failure and pursued their ideas. Take Jeff Bezos for example. Today's world's richest man held many high-profile positions in major tech and investment companies in his 20s, but always felt like he was meant for something more. While holding a senior vice president role and making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, Jeff decided to risk failure by leaving his secure job and starting a new book-selling business, which we all know today as Amazon. In fact, rich people see failure as part of the process towards becoming wealthy. As quoted by the author of the Harry Potter series, J.K. Rowling, said, "It's impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case, you fail by default." Because of their fear of failure, poor people constantly make excuses not to try new things or step out of their comfort zone. So if you constantly find yourself giving reasons not to start that new project you've always wanted to do because of the fear that you might fail, now is a good time to reconsider your choices because it could be the next step in achieving all your wildest financial goals. Type number 2, people who complain. Have you ever complained about something and magically the issue resolved itself? No? I didn't think so. Complaining is a common behavior of those who will never be rich, and this action has scientific evidence proving just how detrimental it can be. According to Stanford University, complaining shrinks the hippocampus, an area of the brain that's critical to problem solving and intelligent thought. Chances are you aren't Albert Einstein to begin with, so you will need every ounce of brain power you have to begin building your dream rich lifestyle. Unfortunately, this issue only gets worse. Every time you complain, the neurons in your brain fire and your brain rewires itself to fire more often, leading you to becoming a routine complainer. People who will never become rich complain about nearly everything, from their background to their financial capabilities, and eventually about the people around them. Their lives are filled with excuses which hold them back from ever achieving any financial success. Rich individuals, on the other hand, not only avoid complaining, but they practice gratitude for what they have in the moment and what they are about to receive. For instance, Oprah Winfrey kept a journal for 10 years, never missing an entry, and Tony Robbins practices a regimented gratitude protocol every morning. Therefore, instead of wasting hours of your life complaining, Use this time instead to find ways that will make you rich. Type number 3, people who don't continuously learn. Unless you win the lottery, then becoming rich will require knowledge, which is why the saying, the more you learn, the more you earn exists. Unfortunately, the completion of high school or college spells the end of learning for the majority of people. This is because most people go to school with the sole goal of getting a degree that will get them a job, and not because of their love of learning. Then, after the initial excitement of receiving a paycheck every 2 weeks wears off, they must dull the pain of their mundane job by watching countless hours of Netflix every night just to get by. And how pervasive is this issue? A 2016 Gallup poll found that 71% of millennial workers are either not engaged or are actively disengaged at work, meaning that there are a whole lot of workers counting down the minutes until quitting time each and every day. Alternatively, there are people who will never be rich because they are too lazy to learn. They don't see the need to discover new things or research a subject. Instead, they only accept whatever information others provide. They want to know more and do more. They enjoy spending their time getting entertained by other people's findings rather than doing their own. But as Jim Rohn said, your level of success will seldom exceed your level of personal development. The truth is, without continuous learning, you can't leverage the thousands of ideas or concepts that exist that can make you rich. For instance, if you never knew the internet existed, there would be no way you can make money selling shirts online or running a successful blog. The rich, on the other hand, understand the value of learning and continue to learn even after amassing significant wealth. Take the example of Dan Lok. This Canadian entrepreneur and multimillionaire invests more than $500,000 a year into his education, in the form of courses, coaching, and many other learning opportunities because he knows that this investment will come back to him tenfold. Type number 4, people that don't hold themselves accountable. Poor people, or people who will never become rich, are people who never learn to take responsibility for their actions. They are always blaming someone or something else for the consequences of their actions. These people were probably those kids that wouldn't study for a test and blame the teacher when they received a failing grade. These same people are those who try to start a business, and when they can't seem to make any sales, they will blame the economy or the government for their failure, when they never even made an effort to market their product or sharpen their sales skills. The harsh reality of life is that if you want something, you have to be ready to go and get it yourself. Don't blame someone else, your life circumstances, the government, or any other external factor for why you aren't achieving the financial success you desire. Understand that you are in charge and it is all up to you. So if the outcome of your choices don't turn out favorably, accept it as your mistake, learn, and move on from it. Don't be like the unsuccessful ones who find faults in everything else but themselves. We are humans, and we're full of imperfections, hence, mistakes are bound to happen, but owning these mistakes is what's important. Type number 5, people that quit too easily. To be focused and hardworking is one thing. To persevere, however, is an entirely different thing. Perseverance is persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. It is what keeps you going when you don't get the expected result you imagined you would at a particular period in time. The value of persistence is perfectly exemplified by The Dip. In the book The Dip, written by Seth Godin, he explains that whenever you take on a new project, there is a period of stagnant growth, which is where most people quit. Godin says, at the beginning, when you first start something, it's fun. Over the next few days and weeks, the rapid learning you experience keeps you going. Whatever your new thing is, it's easy to stay engaged in it. And then the dip happens. The dip is the long slog between starting and mastery. A long slog that's actually a shortcut because it gets you where you want to go faster than any other path. And as you probably guessed, people who will never become rich lack the persistence and patience it takes to see something through until the end, and that something can grant them the financial rewards they desire. Someone who exemplifies the trait of persistence is author Tim Ferriss. Writer of the ultra-popular book, The 4-Hour Workweek, Tim was rejected 25 times when submitting his book for publication. But with consistent effort, he got the book published and is now worth about $100 million. And I can also attest to the power of surviving the dip. Back when I was studying for my CPA designation, I continuously asked myself whether all this hard work would pay off. And luckily I stuck with this journey, which has now granted me an endless amount of career opportunities and a very respectable salary. Sadly, persistence is not a trait that those who will never be rich possess. They are masters at giving up, and giving up is permanent failure. You do not understand that persistence will lead to scarcity, whether that's becoming a best-selling author or a CPA. Being able to carry on when others can't will make you rare, and like a diamond, things that are rare are worth much, much more. In conclusion, if you want to be rich, then you need to get rid of these 5 habits. And if you currently possess any or all of them, don't worry, because each one of them can be unlearned. To be rich, you must accept failure as part of the process, avoid complaining, focus on learning as much as you can, take responsibility for your actions, and finally, persevere until all your wildest financial dreams have been realized. Thanks for watching. If you want to go from the life you have to the life you deserve, then hit the subscribe button now.